When you enter into energetic synthesis community, what's going on in your life? What brought the connection? Because one thing to understand about the ES community is it's a living field of multidimensional consciousness. And again, in understanding where did this come from, most of you know at least some of my background. Clearly, I am an extraterrestrial contact, but this was enlightened contact. And it's true that over the many years I have been talking about this experience. I have at times avoided using the words Christ, Christos, crystal, because there's been so much misuse of that word on our planet, not only through organized religion, but through a lot of the New Age consciousness. It seems like, oh, it's a tick word. I've heard this so many times. So it's a real consciousness, and it is connected to both human and non-human intelligences. So those particular interdimensional intelligences began contact with me back in 1999. And through that obviously changed my life quite dramatically. At that time, even though looking back now, I feel incredibly privileged and blessed to have the opportunity to have this experience. But at the time, it dismantles everything that you know or have known that you are as a human being. And this ripple effect moves through your life, and it's very destructive to the third dimensional constructs of relationships, of social family obligations, meaning our relationships to our family members. So this process, again, to be honored and understood, is not painting it in a negative light, but understanding the necessity of undergoing the darkness in order to meet the mystery of God, which is the spirit inside yourself. So the dark and the light obviously coexist, and through the merging and the synthesis and the alchemy of the dark and light, we achieve manifestation into the physical world. So this is what energetic synthesis is, an understanding of embracing polarity, understanding the forces of polarity that are necessary in the creational process, and yet we must identify what the darkness is and what the light is, not to judge it, but to discern what it is so that we come into knowledge. And the knowledge is the wisdom which allows us to make discerning choices and to become personally empowered in our spiritual development process and in everything that impacts everything that we do in our lives, our relationships with others, our careers in the world, our work in the world, whatever that is for you, because each of us has an individual, unique signature of which we are here to express. So it's like finding the highest note that you are here to sing in your heart, to be in your heart, and that translates into your spiritual mission, your work in the world, and everything that you do, your presence becomes an emanation that has an influence with others, influence with family members, influence with your children, your spouse, your partners, your sisters, your brothers. There starts to become this ripple effect, like throwing a pebble into the pond or into the lake and seeing this ripple effect. We become a cause of that ripple. So then the responsibility of the knowledge is, I'm creating a ripple in the pond, so now I need to pay attention to how my energy, my auric field, my personal energies, my thoughts, my emotions, how I'm conducting myself in my day-to-day life. Those things impact everything that you do vibrationally, and this is why many people who join energetic synthesis community may feel a hard resistance in the beginning, because the responsibility is now amplified. The volume gets turned up. Everything is shown back at you. And so not understanding the ascension process, some people may feel, why am I getting all this resistance? Why am I getting all of this, flack that's coming back at me? And in the earlier stages, that will be the deciding point where you will decide, is this community for me? Do I resonate with this? Does this feel right for me? And it's important to understand there is no judgment in that. And please know, and I'm looking directly at the camera, there is nothing that you can do as a member in the community, no matter what kind of activity or level that you have in this community forum, Within the community itself, this community is a construct of consciousness that is here with purpose, that we're all here to collaborate with. Everybody is considered a welcomed, valued, productive part of our community. Whether you decide to leave the community or stay in the community really doesn't matter to me. So please know that what I'm here to support is the highest expression for you, meaning it's up to you personally to decide, are these tools resonant with me? Am I feeling in connection and gaining benefit from my experience with energetic synthesis? Because personally, I don't want anyone in the community who does not feel that way, because that means that the community is not for you. And that's 100% okay. It's completely supported by me. So please know the responsibility is with you. It's with you alone. I'm providing the foundation, I'm providing the architecture, and you can dip into that field as you feel it serves your highest nature. And if you do feel that it is serving your highest nature, then the next step is this. We start to communicate in groups that have more dedication, commitment, and alignment to the spiritual path, because in the earlier stages, we may, with all of the different responsibilities we have in our life and in our world, with our jobs and our families, we may only have very small moments where we can dedicate a full and complete focus of our presence into our spiritual development. As you move through the spiritual path, more and more of your day becomes devoted to your spiritual truth, to your spiritual mission. And this is, again, a course of spiritual development. In the earlier stages, we do what we can because so many of us are entrenched at so many different levels in the third dimensional construct. And as we become more proficient, as we become more confident in our own connection with our inner spirit and our relationship in the world, our spiritual practice becomes omnipresent to the point that everything you do in your life is completely connected in the service to the Law of One, or in service to the highest divinity of your being. We use Law of One and Christ and Christos and Crystal Star as interchangeable concepts to try to understand the process of evolving humanity to embody their inner spirit. Everybody's got a spirit, everybody's got a soul. The way that we connect to that part of ourselves is very private and intimate to us, but energetic synthesis is a consortium of tools, of clearings, of various exercises and concepts to understand how to reframe your thinking, how to clear negative thoughts, and therefore accelerate on the spiritual pathway of your own personal ascension.